Hello, Taylor Elwood, your mad scientist and magical experimenter at magicalexperiments.com. And today what I want to talk about is how to do energy work more effectively. One of the things that I notice with people who do energy work or magical work of any type is that too often they pull from their own energy. And the reason for that is because that's the most readily available source of energy, of spirit force, magic, whatever you want to call it. However, I don't think it's the best source to draw on. As someone who does a fair amount of internal work and all that, I can tell you that I spend that a significant part of that is really refining and enhancing the internal energy. What this suggests is that the internal energy is finite, and of course we see that by the very fact that we have a limited lifespan. It's not like we can live forever. So I think it's really important to recognize how much energy you actually have, and to ask yourself, well, what else can I do? Now, the way that I like to power a lot of my workings is I like to draw on the things that are around me. Like, let's say, for example, I'm doing a job hunt. If I'm going to do magical workings for a job hunt, I'm going to use the activities of the job hunt, the energy that's put into filling out applications, interviews, things like that. I'm going to use that to fuel my magical working. Or if I'm doing, if I'm putting up energetic shields, one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to set those shields up so that they're activated when something comes toward them that isn't appropriate. In other words, that thing that isn't appropriate is actually going to not only activate the shields, but actually empower them and help to fuel the shields. Hey, why not use what someone's sending against you and actually put it to good use? That's my way of looking at it. Um, Another thing that I'll do is I will, like in the case of healing work, if I'm healing someone, I'll put in a little bit of my energy, but really I'm going to be working with their energy to do the healing. And part of that's because it's their energy that actually needs to do the healing work. Um, I'll put in enough to help guide and direct and focus that energy, but I'm not going to put too much in because it's important not to. Now, one thing I will say is that a readily available source of energy, if you will, is actually your emotions. What you feel is a form of energy. Emotions equals energy in motion, right? So when you're feeling something, whether you're feeling anger, you're feeling fear, you're feeling something like that, that can actually be a useful way to, that feeling can be a useful thing to draw upon and use in your magical working. And it's not tapping so much into your life forces, it's tapping into the emotion itself. Another way that I like to look at it in terms of doing this kind of work is that if you draw on, something around you, like nature or what have you, that can be another way. Like if you're doing magic with the earth, why not actually work with the earth, draw it on the earth's energy? Or if you're doing weather magic, why not work with the actual energy of the elements themselves? Work with the air, and the feeling of the wind. Work with that, draw on that, or draw on the humidity, and actually work with that particular um, aspect of what it is that you're trying to influence. My point really is that when it comes to energy work, it's just and magical work really in general is to look at what you're actually working with, what you're drawing on, and see how you can incorporate that and draw on its energy so that you're not using too much of your own, and that if anything, you're learning really how to take what's around you and make it part of the actual working. What do you do when you're doing magical work? What resources do you draw on? Feel free to comment below, and if you haven't subscribed yet, feel free to click on the T over here and subscribe. Thanks very much, and have a great weekend.